Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas here with Joel Diaz at the Boys and Girls Club in Indio, California. And Joel, I want to talk to you about the recent acquisition you had here with your camp, that being Ruslan Provodnikov. It took a lot of people by surprise. Not a lot of people expected it. Tell me, when did they first reach out to you, and what were your initial reactions when he did that?
You know what? It wasn't a surprise to me. I talked to Vadim for a while already. As a matter of fact, it was right after the Bradley Ruslan fight. After the fight, I ran into Vadim, and I've always told him, let's be realistic. I mean, we're professionals in the business, and I told Vadim, you know what? I'm a big fan of Ruslan. That was a great fight. I really like his style, and looking forward to seeing him again. He goes, oh, thank you, Joel. So every time I ran into him in certain fights, I always told him, hey, how's Ruslan doing? So I always kept asking for Ruslan how he's doing. And it got to a point where one day he approached me. He says, you know what, Joel? There's talks of Ruslan fighting Pacquiao. And if that happens, you're the trainer in the top of our list to train Ruslan. I said, well, I really appreciate you guys, thinking about me. He said, no problem, man. He goes, and, I would like to work with you one way or another. So then at one time he brought another fighter by the name of Taras. And I worked with him here, and he really liked it. But I guess Taras, has his family in L.A. And it went on for a while until, his last fight. After his last fight, I was in Arizona, and I got a message from him. That's when I really knew that they really wanted me to work with a guy. But as a matter of fact, when Ruslan, before he went to Russia, he came here without nobody knowing. Vadim called me and told me, hey, Joel, can I come to the gym? Yeah, come in. So he came in and brought Ruslan, and I worked with him for one day. And he really liked it. He really liked my work. He was happy. And, I always try to keep everything straight and try to keep everybody happy. I went and I told Bradley, I go, you know what, guess who came by? And he says, who? I said, Ruslan came by, and he wants me to work with him. He says, that's good, coach. Hey, that's your job. You do what you have to do. I go, is it okay with you? He goes, come on, coach. He says, hey, when I retire, you're still going to have, fighters. That's your job. I go, no, well, as a respect, I always ask you if it's okay, because a lot of fighters are not happy with it. He goes, no, coach, it's fine. If you want to work with him and he likes it, no problem, We might not even meet down the road again. Okay, so then, I said yes. And it was like 2 months ago when, it was close to 2 months ago when Vadim texted me and said that what would it take for me to train Ruslan in L.A. or Big Bear. And at that time, I had Diego Magdaleno getting ready for Flanagan. I had Felix Diaz getting ready for Lamont Peterson, and I had Diego De La Hoya getting ready. I have a camp full of fighters. So, my answer to my reply to Vadim, I said, Vadim, I would really love to. I would really love to train Ruslan, but I can't in LA or Big Bear because I have a camp full of fighters, and I cannot leave. And he even offered, he says, what if I get a place for all your fighters if you bring them to LA and we'll have a gym for them? And I said, you know what? I really appreciate that, but I don't think that would be fair for my fighters, because then it will not be about them. It will be about Ruslan, because I'm moving them from where they've been training
to accommodate
Ruslan. And he says, you know what? I wish I could, man, but I don't think that's fair for them. So his next message was, okay, I'll see you Monday. What time will Ruslan be training?
Oh, wow.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, he'll be training at 1 o'clock. Since that day on, he was here. The first week, it was basically just watching. I was watching him to try to correct him a little bit. And, at this point of his career, I cannot tell you that I'm going to change him, but I can integrate some new things to him. Basically, defense. He's a powerful hitter. He is really hard. He needs to learn how to. Well, now he does. But what I decided to do from the first day he came here is every day, I get in the ring with him so that he's programmed to do it. Because with time, if you just remind them and tell them, after a while, they forget and they go back to their own style. So you have to basically give them a one-on-one time every day, even after sparring, even before sparring, even when you do mids and everything. Always remind them of what you're teaching them so that naturally it comes when it comes to sparring. And in the first 2 weeks, it was a little hard for him. And Madin told me, Ruslan, it's hard for Ruslan to do two things at the same time. He can't do defense, offense at the same time. And so now that he's programmed to do it, he's doing really good. One of the most important things I like about him is I want him to be a body hunter. He is extremely hard to the body. I want him to break his opponents from the beginning, cut the ring. Before, he was a fighter that he had to stand. You had to stand in order for him to fight. Now he could fight you even though you're moving. Because I know that a lot of fighters are going to try to move on him, and now I'm programming him to cut the ring, get inside, and punch as they're moving. Because I know a lot of fighters like Bradley, like Amir Khan, and all those fighters, they're going to want to move on him, but now we have to execute that. And you know what he's been learning? And one of the most important things that I like about Ruslan was when he finally opened up to me and says, we came here because we need you. And I think you are the person that can help us. He says, and I'm here to learn and do what you tell me. He says, if I have to stay here in the gym and sleep on the floor, I'll do it. But I want to be a world champion. I told him, if you listen to me and if you follow my guidance and follow my instructions, I promise you I'll make you a world champion next year. Right now, all I need for him to do is get a couple of confidence builder fights. At first they were talking about Amir Khan, which I didn't agree with the Vadim, but I didn't say nothing because he's a manager. But coming out of the Matisse fight, that was a tough fight. Ruslan has had tough fights, very tough fights. So what he needs right now is he needs a little break. He needs 1, maybe 2 fights, just to build up his confidence. And let's put to work what I've been integrating in him. And then after that, give me whoever you want. I don't care. Give me anybody. And I'll guarantee you that once he listens to my voice of command and he listens to me and he does what I tell him and what I expect of him to do in the ring, with that kind of power that he's got, believe me, he can do a lot of damage.